Like, there are people who are doing this.
I mean, I think at a certain point what's just going to happen is, to your point, what you were getting at. Like, they're going to have somebody show up. There's going to be a standoff. It's going to get, like, you can just imagine the situation, like, becoming out of control. Particularly, by the way, because it seems like ICE is also targeting, like, institutions.
Anyway, buy the River Plate Icon Terrace jersey? What is that? I don't even know what that is. All right. Let's talk about the ICE raids.
In California, and a new showdown over the Trump administration's crackdown on immigration. ICE agents raided 2 farms yesterday near Los Angeles, and at one of them, workers were lined up against a wall. Neighbors and others came out to protest. ICE agents used smoke canisters and what appeared to be tear gas on the crowd. This all happened in Camarillo, California, north of Los Angeles. Carter Evans is there. Carter, good morning.
100% hate watching stuff is horrible for your mental health. Like, most people who hate watch or just tune into super negative content all the time fucks your brain up. Except for Brace Belden, who has managed to watch pure mind-melting content, not only to remain sane, but also rise above and become a guru of content that makes you schizophrenic.
I'm going to be honest.
I wouldn't say he's mentally sane.
Yeah, he's like, you need to check yourself, dude. Like,
yeah.
Brace is operating, like, his thetan levels these days are...
They're
up there.
I would not point to Brace Belden as a mentally sane man. He does not strike the top 10 list of mental sanity.
Yeah, he's saying, like, like the Joker.
Yeah.
Like another portrait of sanity.
Yeah. He's great. I just wouldn't say he's sane. I love him. Love him. Not a sane guy. Anyway, let's watch this.
Good morning, Vlad. This is the entrance to the farming complex here, and actually relatives have been out here all night. They're in cars nearby right now. They're hoping that loved ones may still be hiding inside, and we've actually heard that a couple came out overnight. Now, over the last few months, actually a couple of months, we've had a lot of activity in the streets, some tense moments, and yesterday, it spilled out into the farm fields. Angry protesters clashed with mass federal agents Thursday during an immigration raid at a cannabis farm north of Los Angeles in Ventura County. Witnesses say agents tossed smoke bombs at protesters.
They threw one under the car, and then all the car inside, it got full of smoke.
As the situation escalated, agents deployed what appeared to be tear gas, sending much of the crowd running.
There's got to be a better way than the way that they're acting right now.
Some appeared to throw rocks at government vehicles. At one point, a man appeared to be firing a gun, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office. Melissa Tapia says she was waiting to hear from her family who worked at the farm.
The thing I don't get, like, in that instance, it does seem like they're obviously like law enforcement agencies, but like, there is gonna inevitably be a moment where like someone legitimately doesn't realize that it's like an actual federal agent that's doing the kidnapping.
Look what Mahmoud said earlier today about how, like, he wasn't sure that he had been captured by the government until he was at Federal Plaza.
Yeah, like, what's the expectation there? Like, is it open season? Like, because that's like, there's a reason why cops reveal that they are cops. Okay. There's also a subsequent reason why impersonating a federal law enforcement agent or a law enforcement officer is illegal, is heavily illegal, right? Because, like, you don't know. Yeah. You don't know if it's in plain clothes. Like, there's a reason why you need an arrest warrant or some kind of warrant or some kind of real reasoning for the detention. Like, otherwise, you have these stories where there are already people that are running around and impersonating federal law enforcement agents and trying to people and shit. Like, when that happens more and more frequently, I suspect that there's gonna be more people who are like, nope, I'm gonna defend myself. What the? Oh, I know what this is. Hold on.
Brother, they took his phone away. They're banging on there, not letting people out.
In neighboring Santa Barbara County, another raid targeted a second cannabis farm owned by the same company.
What about the children that are going to be taken from their family?
On Monday, agents swept through MacArthur Park in Los Angeles with military trucks. The latest show of force after last month's crackdown included agents chasing workers in the fields.
We don't want to do it where we take all of the workers off the farms. We want the farms to do great.
Last week, President Trump said he would allow undocumented migrants to stay in the country if farmers would vouch for them. But Agriculture Secretary Wednesday that farm workers would not be given amnesty from deportation.
This president has been unequivocal first in his commitment to no amnesty, his commitment to mass deportations, his commitment to securing the border.
Now, it's unclear how many people were arrested, but it looked like agents were leading away dozens of people. They had a couple of
Yeah, I mean, there was a literal dude who was impersonating cops that shot the Minnesota lawmakers. Like, there are people who are doing this.
I mean, I think at a certain point what's just going to happen is, to your point, what you were getting at, like, they're going to have somebody show up. There's going to be a standoff. It's going to get, like, you can just imagine the situation, like, becoming out of control. Particularly, by the way, because it seems like ICE is also targeting, like, institutions. They're not, like, you know, running up on people at the street or just at their homes. Like, they're going to places where there's lots of people. Like, they're, like, it seems like their strategy, frankly, is to maximize these kinds of confrontations as much as it is to maximize the impact of the deportations or whatever. Because they're not going to hit those ambitious quotas they want. So it just seems like they're stirring as much shit up in the process as they can.
Well,
now on social media, Customs and Border Patrol said that 10 juveniles were found in the facility. All of them were undocumented. And as for that man who was seen with the gun, well, the FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for help finding him. Dana?
All right, some really disturbing images there. Carter, thank you very much.
They're quiet quitting, I hope. I hope they loudly quit. I hope they all quit.
To a Fox News alert, the FBI is ordering a 50...
I think, like ICE agents feeling uncomfortable is not a bad thing. Like, it's the most peaceful solution to a problem that historically has only been dealt with through, like, military intervention. Like, what are we talking about?
And also, like...
The only historic equivalence that you can point to in this regard is, like, the one that immediately comes to mind is obviously Nazi Germany, you know? Ken Klippenstein reported a migrant farm worker died due to injuries sustained in this raid. No, I know. We're going to talk about that.
$50,000 reward.
It's kind of like BDS. It is the most peaceful way of dealing with this unimaginably evil, unimaginably violent state doing the worst crime of all time. Well, if you stand in opposition against that, like, you just want the issue to press. You want the issue to grow. You want the issue to turn into a much larger problem that can only be dealt with, like, through like military intervention.
Well, now also with the ICE stuff that's, like, kind of like getting into the mix is that it is, like, becoming itself, like, militarized, not just for the purpose of deportations. Like, you know, when you saw, I'm assuming you saw that photo of all the dudes in the van and that one guy who had tactical Vans on. Like, I was stunned. I could not believe that these such a thing existed. This guy had, like, tactical Vans sneakers. My nose is blue.
Yeah. Oh, it's that.
Oh,
bro.
my God. I've been playing with the wrapper and it just light my green. It's green. That's so
Go look in the mirror.
funny. Holy shit. That is really funny. You were looking at me like...
It was freaking me out. It looks like you were diseased or
appeared to
something.
fire at federal agents during a major California immigration raid yesterday. Doug Luzader joins us now with the very latest. Good morning, Doug.
Hey, good morning, guys. Another rough day for federal immigration agents in California after facing off with violent protesters yesterday.
Oh, tactical Vans.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So, like,
during
yeah,
immigration
the guys
sweeps
were in,
at two farming...
Tactical Vans, dude. It's so...
Never seen that.
So, like, point being that they're, like... ICE is just becoming an expanded part of the military, which again, by the way, as Mahmoud pointed out today, they have more rights for whatever they want to do than our police. You don't have a warrant? Doesn't fucking matter. They'll lie to get into the building. Like, they'll buzz a different neighbor or whatever. Granted, obviously, like, police break these rules all the time, but, like, the rules exist. And they can, you know, if they aren't obeyed and it's documented they're not obeyed, it can jeopardize everything. Not the case with these guys.
ICE, we're all American citizens. Technically, ICE does not have a right to detain us or limit our movement in any way.
Nope.
Okay? Technically. In the books, their affairs are in the enforcement of immigration. So as an American citizen, they technically can't arrest you.
They can't do anything.
But, yeah, they can't do anything. But how can they figure out if you're an American citizen or not? They have to detain you. But that detention process in and of itself is literally illegal, technically. And you can sue ICE for detaining you, an American citizen. But the problem is that legal process is unnecessarily complicated by and costly, and you get nothing in return. You get very little.
You're not going to get damages.
Yeah, you get very little damages in return for being detained by an ICE agent.
No, I mean, in the case of, let's say, like somebody like Brad Lander, for example, like he may end up being able to, if he pursues, I don't know if I forgot if he's pursued charges or not, but like, you know, if they lie about you, if they do other things, but like the actual act of, no, but you're totally right. I would add also just though that like, what that speaks to is that like the way ICE should be operating, if we were going by the book in this way and not just like referring to the de facto reality, like what the de jure reality should be, would be that like ICE can only operate with the consent of local populations and their authorities, which by the way, very few have. You know, even in red states, it's not such a clear cut thing.
Oh yeah,
all these local law enforcement.
No, I said that already. I said that before. That's why Trump was like beefing up ICE raids in blue states, because he knows if he were to go after red states and actually go after farm workers in the red states, he's harming the bag, because it creates enmity, it creates tension, it creates animosity towards the administration, and they know that. That's why when the LA ICE raids were happening, he literally was like, "We're just going after blue states." It's a way to punish blue states, basically.
Well, especially California, which has always been like the kind of like California and New York City together are both the kind of grand scapegoats. Chicago to a point as well for gun violence, but still.
Yeah, but what if the agents are like really chill, just like skater guys? Like, does that
what if they're
affect
just
anything?
homies?
Yeah, what if they're just like, I need the bag?
Yeah.
Including a marijuana facility, tear gas, smoke bombs deployed. Agents were pelted with rocks, and federal authorities are now on the lookout for a suspect who appeared to fire a gun at them. And now this from the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, who posted on X. The FBI has issued a $50,000 award for information leading to the conviction of an unknown subject who appeared to fire a pistol at federal law enforcement officers near Camarillo. And here is another shocking detail. According to Customs and Border Protection, 8 unaccompanied minors, all here illegally, were found. There is now an investigation underway for possible child labor violations, they say. All of this as we await a decision from a federal judge in California who seems inclined now to severely limit immigration enforcement efforts by the Trump administration. This Biden appointee indicating that she may issue a temporary restraining order today, essentially siding with litigants who argue that ICE agents are violating constitutional rights. So far, she says she has only reached a tentative decision, writing, "It is truly a tentative. It is not final. My intention coming into this hearing, given the urgency and the weight of the matters at issue, is to issue my ruling tomorrow." But she has also said that she does not want to burden what she calls lawful law enforcement activities. And again, that decision should come down later today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You know, this is also strange, and maybe the strangest part of that ruling right there is the idea that when did federal judges begin giving alerts to what they're going to, how they're going to rule tomorrow, which at some point it starts to make you think that it's all kind of a coordinated effort to give people time to the ACLU to have a press conference, for example.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. You know, if this judge does go forward and issues this temporary restraining order, this is the equivalent of a judge making a ruling that the DEA can't go search individuals for drugs and narcotics on Skid Row in L.A. It makes
Are drugs the same as immigration, or is criminal law the same as immigration law?
Yeah. Well, if you ask these guys, it's worse.
Yeah, because
clearly that's the reason why they're doing resource allocation at ICE away from drug enforcement and actual cartel apprehension, and over to making sure that they're packing up dudes working in agricultural production. You know, the real criminals, okay?
The real criminals who do a job that literally...
Which is, the real criminals that are doing a job that
none of you would do.
Yeah, that's legal,
none
too.
Of you would do.
Like, people will be like, it's weed. It's like, dude, it's legal. What are you talking about?
And
like,
you wouldn't do the job.
Yeah, okay, you don't like it. You don't like it.
I guarantee, it's like it's, you know, here like a bit of like hokey 2010s liberalism, but like that Stephen Colbert clip where he testifies before Congress about like, and I learned something about picking strawberries. Are drugs the same as immigration, or is criminal law the same as immigration law?
Yeah. Well, if you ask these guys, it's worse.
Yeah, because
clearly that's the reason why they're doing resource allocation at ICE away from drug enforcement and actual cartel apprehension, and over to making sure that they're packing up dudes working in agricultural production. You know, the real criminals, okay?
The real criminals who do a job that literally...
Which is, the real criminals that are doing a job that
none of you would do.
Yeah, that's legal,
none
too.
Of you would do.
Like, people will be like, it's weed, it's weed. It's like, dude, it's legal. What are you talking about?
And
like,
you wouldn't do the job.
Yeah, okay, you don't like it. You don't like it.
I guarantee, it's like it's, you know, here like a bit of like hokey 2010s liberalism, but like that Stephen Colbert clip where he testifies before Congress about like, and I learned something about picking strawberries. It's hard.
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna like, shocker, Fox and Friends hosts are blasé and ignorant jerks.
I mean, they know. They know. They probably hire undocumented people. They just like don't think it'll happen to them. And
that's true. It's been a minute, but like that used to be a pretty common kind of scandal for Republicans in particular. I think it was Meg Whitman, actually, former CEO of...
I think they stopped because they stopped covering it because everyone is doing it.
Exactly. But it was a great kind of, like, Meg Whitman's, like, undocumented, like, because they always come up with the, like, oh, well, no. We learned that this person was a plague carrier decades ago, but we took steps to ensure that they were on a path to whatever. You know, like, they always came up with something. I mean, at least that, like, gestured that there was a sense of humanity involved here.
Yeah. They're trying to say, oh, so you want slaves for farms, or you want these people to keep working for cheap labor? And my answer always is, no, I want them to get pay parity. I want their wages to go up. Like, I want there to be some kind of parity with wages across the board so that they're not a depressive force on the existing documented labor pool. And I want them to have citizenship. Give them the proper paperwork to become citizens. They are already here. They've been working here for decades. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's literally a more cost-effective solution. The only thing is there's going to be people along the way that are going to have their feelings hurt because they're just, like, scared of brown people. That's it. That's, like, and that's not that significant of a percentage of the population.
No.
If there was the political willing from one side of the spectrum that unfortunately is maybe just like not as racist as the Republicans, but like almost as racist as the Republicans and just gayer. Like, if those guys were to potentially like launch a serious political opposition towards this and just be like, give them the documentation, it's just paperwork. What are we doing?
I mean, it is also just goofy because it's like, you know, it doesn't feel like it's been in living memory for any of us that like Democrats would at least even like gesture to this stuff. But it's like, yeah, I used to live on a street called Cesar Chavez. Like, there is like a sense in which like people who did this kind of work and the backgrounds from which they came from.
But then they would point to him being brutal to the undocumented laborers. They'd be like, oh, well, he beat up.
This is absolutely true, but the idea though to me
he beat up undocumented Mexicans himself. Like, that's what Tucker
Carlson. But now we have.
Well, I guess we don't even talk about that.
Exactly,
now.
We've devolved. Like, it's all about how like if you pick like strawberries, then it's because like God hates you and like you deserve to like be my slave. That's like what it is.
No, you're right. That is
like,
literally
that's like what it's
like
come down
prosperity gospel mentality has completely overtaken like all political discourse. Where you're right, if you're poor, you deserve it because God is punishing you. You're not moral. Even if you don't believe in God, you're just immoral. You kind of deserve it.
Yeah, exactly. You live in filth, you gross piece of shit. Like, it's all this like insane, racist, dehumanizing claptrap. And granted, like I don't believe that like it has legs and will last because like that's the majority of humanity and frankly a large number of people in this country you're speaking to, pal. And I don't think that kind of thing can last and is itself like that sort of like politics of cruelty is itself a placeholder for like something really genuine because they don't have anything genuine. Like they're just ripping out copper wiring and bragging about it. That's the project.
Yeah.
They're carrying out federal immigration law. And one of the groups in this lawsuit, CHIRLA, the Coalition for Immigration Rights LA, is been tied to the Alvarado, Texas attack that, you know, where the 10 individuals, and we're going to talk more about that.
Bro, this is so Israel. That's crazy. You notice something? Have you noticed that we're just like
we're Israel now?
We are Israel, dude. He literally is like, it's terrorist. Have you noticed? Attacks happening in Texas. This group that wants to advocate for the terrorists.
The Hamas is using the border to be bringing the terrorists to farm. To farm. You see? The farm, Hamas.
That's so good. That's insane.
That's crazy. They're farming drugs on the farm too.
Yeah. The Hamas.
Hamas.
I mean, that's what he said. It's like when Israel was like, "Oh, you're a human rights advocacy group that deals with like Palestinian prisoners, terrorist. You are doing terror." And then that's what he's trying to do. He's like, this immigration rights advocacy group was involved in the attack against our brave law enforcement officers on July, I don't know, whenever it happened.
I mean, it is really funny for them to also pull that shit after January 6th, I still think. Because I've spent all this time cheering on these like moron idiots, and then they do something that actually kills a few cops, and I mean, it was a guy who had a heart attack. But it was still this ridiculous. It was like they assaulted cops. They did the thing that's supposedly the third rail. They did the thing, and now you're just kissing their ass.
And not assault cops in the sense that they were resisting arrest or spitting on them. They were beating the
out. Yeah, they were like, no, we're gonna kill you. We're gonna kill you. More. I've never seen the footage of January 6th.
Cops squash with their neck
you've never seen people I've never been in a left wing protest in my fucking life that has ever seen that kind of bloodlust.
Dude, for a moment it felt like we were in a civilized country like France or something. The way that the citizens were beating on cops, I thought we had socialized medicine or something.
No, it was the joke that I have was my old roommate and I were talking about how when it happened, what was our first feeling when we saw
jealousy.
Exactly, because jealousy. It was that should be us, running shit.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it wasn't us. And we condemn it.
Yeah, of course.
We condemn it. We, of course, condemn it.
Of course. We condemn it.
Condemn.
We do not condone January 6th, and that we will, that exactly. I'm not even jealous. I'm cool. Jealous. I'm so jealous.
Man.
It was a little funny.
I'm so jealous. Oh, it was hilarious.
Well, that was the thing, because ultimately, if it was me and my friends, it would be cool. But because it was their friends, it was funny as
well, it wasn't, the reality is, if it was in the direction of, some kind of, leftist revolutionary action, then there would be at least, I assume, some semblance of, political goal to seize power at the end of it. But when you're a Republican, you already have all the power.
Yeah.
So why would you, you're just upset because you lost the game one time, but you still maintain all the control.
And by the way, it really...
Even when you lose, you win.
But then the thing that they have that we don't is they have Daddy. And Daddy was telling him, do it.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike Pence is... kill him, whatever it was that he said. They actually had this person whose approval and whose glory they wanted to realize, and his name Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, but that is what I'm jealous of for sure. I openly admit that. No, Trump, dude. Modern Hitler. Yeah, modern Hitler.
Modern Hitler.
I'm sure communists and socialists were looking at this guy from the concentration camps that they were in and being like, why couldn't we have this? This is crazy. He was able to just mobilize and seize control through liberal capitulation as well, and through appeasement and all this stuff. But I feel that way about Donald Trump, where I'm this guy is a force to be reckoned with, and he has single-handedly changed the trajectory of American politics.
He was lying through his teeth, but he still successfully ran as a peace candidate. That is something
after 4 years of not being that.
And it's we've not had that in my life. Obama was supposed to be that, didn't happen. Clinton had. That's just not how it's been. And so the idea of it's the guy who's basically Bush on steroids.
If the logical...
is going to get to claim that?
If the logical conclusion of Republican policies is this kind of Nazi shit that we're seeing right now, and the logical endpoint of Democrats is supposed to be, when have we had a Trump-style figure? It would be a socialist. A Trump-style figure would be an accelerated socialist. If it was true, if it was truly, if the Democratic Party's vision truly revolved around the theory of creating a utopian socialist society, or at least I don't know, modest social democratic reforms, then we would have to have like a Bernie-style person who would also have to command command large swaths of the population to do his bidding in an almost cult-like.
I mean, I would phrase it only slightly differently, or at least I would frame it from a different angle, which is that like people have to do something that I think we have seen people be willing to do, but like it has to be in a more coordinated way, which is that like they have to be willing to like risk stuff, like they whether it's like risking arrest or it's just breaking the rules to see what happens.
Yeah,
like it's got to be.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm jealous of. Trump literally says the rules. I was brought in to say the rules, so I'm gonna be the rules party. And if the rules, of course, in the direction of American politics in perpetuity, which is in the direction of capital, he's the rules in the same way that like Ronald Reagan did. He's the rules in the same way that Bill Clinton did.
Yeah, with capital's enthusiastic consent, even if it's not in their interest.
Yeah,
because they perceive it to be.
But ultimately, like I understand what the structural hurdles are for a leftist to behave like that, but it wouldn't hurt to try, especially because we have the numbers.
Like, well, I mean, this is now ideally, right? Like this thing that we're seeing with like the immigration stuff and all like the neo-Gestapo tactics and all this.
Yeah,
like
this is deeply unpopular, but it is in line with the agenda that he presented. So it is deeply unpopular, yet earnest in some way. It is directionally what he said he was going to do, and he is fulfilling those promises.
But this is where it's like we were talking about this in the car. Like he's surpassed the thing from term. He's actually doing the thing that he kind of hinted at, like the mass raids, the spectacle and all that. And like I believe that even if there isn't like a singular figure yet who's emerged that can like channel the counter to be like the counterweight to Trump or whatever, like the antithesis of like a Trumpist consciousness is being cultivated, and it's not just with like people who we would consider the conventionally like left wing or whatever. Like that article that you read on stream the other day about like in Axios where Democratic legislators are like, oh yeah, our constituents are telling us go die if you care about this shit. Like go take a bullet. Be more radical, be aggressive, put your shit on the line.
Bro, we go out to protest. There's grandmas out there. They're getting shot at. That's your excuse. You're a goddamn Democratic lawmaker. Get out there and get shot with rubber bullets. Your opinion on funding the police will change dramatically. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Can you imagine Hakeem Jeffries at a protest? With a baseball bat?
Dude. I wouldn't be able to protest. I'd be nutting too hard. He's so
I think
hot.
we need Antifa Jeffries.
Yeah, with his childbearing hips, dude. I would lose my mind. I would lose control.
I gotta bounce. I got somebody at mine.
All right.
Catch
Peace, brother.
Damn. Oh. All right, I'll get out of here too.
Yeah. You get solo Hasan now.
Look at their God King. He looks like a perfectly cooked to a delicious brown.
Oh, that's so okay. You
disrespectful.
If you want that look, 450 degrees for 10 minutes. Take it out, turn it down to 250, and then have it in, and it'll look.
Yeah. All right. Noah Colwyn, Eric, thank you so much for all your help. You guys were fantastic. What a day! What a day!
Bye, chat.
I'm gonna get back to the news coverage right now. All right, let me fix the noise gate. Boom.
Bye, chat. Love you.
Okay. All right. Wow, New York's been fun, dude. I love New York. I love New York so much. It's a good city for politics, baby. I'll tell you what. Good city for politics. Good city for being a political commentator. That is for sure. I like it a lot more than the life I lead in Los Angeles sometimes, even though all my friends and my family lives in LA.
But, connect these dots and you see what is literally a federal judge now stepping in to say that the federal government can't carry out its duty for federal immigration law.
Well, because the judges are the new face of the resistance for the liberal left. And when they started doing it, Charlie, was when President Trump won office. They did it during his first term with all these nationwide injunctions that were issued. Now they're doing it again during his second term. But we need to be honest about what Democrats are doing. Their desire is to protect criminals. Yeah. You look at the deportations of these illegal aliens that have taken place under President Trump. 70% have been criminals or individuals pending charges. These aren't moms and kids that the Trump administration are trying to deport. They're illegal aliens. They're gang members. They're terrorists as well. And you talked about the Alvarado attack, the ambush against the ICE agents there. They were outfitted in black military-style clothing, 12 sets of body armor, 14 guns, fireworks, spray paint, two-way radios, and anti-government propaganda. What do you think that sounds like they're preparing for?
Well, look at the video just from last night, from yesterday in Camarillo, Texas. It's unbelievable. The one news agency caught on camera what appeared to be, and you can see the protesters pelting federal immigration vehicles with rocks. That is assaulting. That is textbook assaulting federal immigration, trying to deal with illegal aliens, 10 of which are minors. Now we're talking about child labor violations at this pot farm out in Camarillo. Look at them just pounding that. And then the one news organization capturing video of what appeared to be an individual firing a pistol at ICE, at federal law enforcement, and that, you know, those are fireworks, by the way. This has gotten out of hand. This is a point that when you see this sort of response, and again, remember, this is a warrant that was being carried out. The federal immigration authorities got word that there were these two farms, one of them a marijuana farm, that was employing illegal aliens. They went in to carry out federal law enforcement and round people up. In it, they found out that there were these 10 unaccompanied, 10 underage minors, 8 of which were unaccompanied minors.
Which is kind of interesting, and then to have a federal judge then say that, no, you're rounding people up because they're brown or because of the color of their skin or because of the way, because of the language they speak. No, the whole
Yeah, I heard the farm was owned by a cop.
Point of a warrant is that you're not doing those things, that you're doing it with actual cause for. And of course, we've been talking about this all week with all of this crazy stuff going on, that at some point somebody's going to get hurt. And somebody, and then you have video of a protester firing a gun.
Well, and that's what the borders are. You know, Tom Homan has been saying. He's saying, look, this is going to end with someone dying. This is going to end with ICE agents dying. And then what are Democrats doing? You only have.
If someone has died. Well, many people have died so far in ICE custody, and someone died in this raid. It was not an ICE agent. It was one of the people that were apprehended.
Senator Fetterman, who is saying, look, this is wrong. We should be calling this out. We should be saying that this is disgusting. No other Democrats are doing that. But what are they doing? What are senators like Cory Booker doing? They're trying to remove the masks of ICE agents, which further puts their lives at danger at a time.
Yes, they should. They should not be able to mask up. They are public servants. They're public servants, and they're murdering people.
When assaults are up by 700% on ICE agents, Griff?
Yeah, and Charlie, I think you really hit the nail on the head, and that is, imagine the week. Let me show you. The week we have had in just the first 10 days of July, an unprecedented number of attacks on ICE and federal law enforcement. Let's start on July 1st.
He's getting up. He's going to the big stage.
In Buffalo, an individual named Matthew White posts on X, "Kill them all. The ICE is the new Gestapo. Stop them." He is facing federal charges for threatening ICE agents. Let's go to 4th of July, the Alvarado assault.
Wait, that's what they're saying is a attack? Like, what are we doing? Is ICE is this a hate crime now? Like, they're like, hey, I mean, he Fed posted, which you shouldn't, okay? But it's like, but I don't understand, like, you can't even be like, oh, they're doing ADL. They're doing ADL shit for ICE.
They were talking about, Lisa was pointing out, they had AR-style rifles, they had body armor, they had two-way radios, they had Faraday bags that was trying to conceal cell phone, coordinated, planned, premeditated attack, and of the 10...
Oh, wow, what did ICE have? What did the ICE agents have? Like, they're like, wow, they had backpacks? That's crazy. ICE is wearing Kevlar with ceramic plates, geared up the wazoo, latest weapons, lethal. Like, they actually have all of the gear. And he's like, well, you know, these guys had Faraday bags to hide their phones. I think this is the first time that the White House account has been ratioed. The symbol of hope, truth, justice, the American way, Superman Trump. Oh my God. National Jusha. God damn. I don't, ableism, I don't condone. Dark woke. I mean, this guy is not dark woke. His name is National Jusha, chat. Are you insane? Dark woke is when liberals say, like, you know, crazy shit. When someone's name is National Jusha, they've been dark woke for a moment. That's a Maoist.
Individuals now facing first-degree attempted murder of federal immigration officers. There is an 11th individual, Benjamin Song, on the run, allegedly provided those weapons to the 10 protesters. Then let's go down to McAllen, Texas. An absolute barrage of bullets from an assailant on a Border Patrol annex facility in McAllen, Texas, that housed the Special Operations Division of Border Patrol. That individual deceased, but it's causing all BP facilities in Texas to get heightened security. Let's go to Tuesday, July 8th, the next day. That's when, as you're mentioning, Lisa, the Democrats, led by Cory Booker and Senator Padilla, wanting to unmask agents while the agents, ICE...
This is a major conspiracy. Cory Booker is working with people who want to kill ICE agents. That's so... Like, my man, be serious, please. Like, please. That is, like... Donald Trump directly did January 6th, was like, the election was fake. We should overthrow the government, basically. And then January 6th is done. They go, how could you possibly make a connection between our big, beautiful president who did a rally and then told the rally to basically go to the Capitol? That's no connection at all. Meanwhile, you turn around and you're like, Cory Booker wants ICE agents to be assassinated? Really, Cory Booker? He's not wrong. I'm working with Cory Booker. Yeah, Cory Booker wants to do ISIS-style decapitation videos for ICE agents is a insane thing to state on Fox News, but here we are. They're saying it, and perhaps even worse, there are people who believe in it. Like, there are people who believe this. Your parents probably, when you think about it. You probably, some of you have parents who think Cory Booker is this, like, seriously dangerous, scary guy, okay? Yeah, Cory, book him and cook him.
Federal law enforcement has said that they are...
You're laughing. Cory Booker is coordinating anti-ICE pogroms, and you're laughing. Sick.
Wearing...
Yeah, I saw the Tim Pool take on the armed protester. I said, why do you hate our Constitution? 10,000 retweets, 3.3 million views. Sentiment is growing. Law enforcement isn't kidnapping family members. We don't know who that guy is that shot children. Children were recovered doing labor on a marijuana farm. If the left is willing to lie to defend this and argue for the right to shoot cops, I assume escalation will only continue. Dog, guy who made Civil War is imminent any day now style videos for the entire duration of his idiotic fucking career is now going, oh my God, the members on the left want to do Civil War. Guy who was like, race war is imminent. Civil War is imminent. The Democrats done did it again. Bro, what? What the fuck? Dude, Instagram removed my post. Wait, what? Dangerous organizations and individuals. Examples of things we don't allow. Dangerous organizations and individuals, okay? Do you want to know what post it is? I'm going to request a review. Wait, I'm going to send in a review. No, it's not a Mahmoud pig. No, it's so much dumber than that. Follow each other, Hasan. I follow a lot of people. You'll hear back from us soon. Chat, I'm going to show you. You're not going to believe it. Hold on. I took a screenshot of it. Can you see from over there? I don't know if you can. I'll read it to you. Why this happened. This post may contain symbols, glorification, or support of people and organizations we define as dangerous. Okay, I'm going to read you the actual... It's a photo of me and Kaya from Christmas. It's a photo of me and Kaya from Christmas. It's just a Christmas photo. And I say in the Christmas photo, Merry Socialismus and a Happy Hasanaka. Santa Claus is Turkish. December 26th, 2024. And I can't even tell if there was like another in the post, if there was something else in there that was like actually considered dangerous, but I have no idea why they did that. I mean, I don't really care necessarily, but it is just funny. Okay, and they're right. True. I wonder what it could be. Kaya is Hamas. Chaya. Here's the post mirrored on. Oh, It's because of this. Merry Christmas to all my friends in Hezbollah, Hamas, and the IRA. That makes sense. Is it the swastika sword? No. No, this. Well, I hit up, I asked for a review, and I said it was a joke because I don't know what it was. So let's see if they work, if that works. This is such a funny thing to delete after 7 months, you know? Why 7 months later? I assume that there are people that are constantly like monitoring my posts and just like going up and down like and just like botting it. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't really give a shit. Yeah, okay. Oops. One of my posts got deleted from December of last year. Instagram literally keeps posting people posting like racist memes with the N-word after reports, but that's a problem. Yeah. Who's that guy? That's Jeremy Corbyn.
Identification of ICE and HSI on them, but they're covering their faces because there are individuals trying to publicly dox these agents, putting them, their families, their spouses, their children at heightened risk. Same day, you've got 4 arrested out in Van Nuys, California, for placing allegedly tire spikes in the road, puncturing the holes of ICE vehicles, trying to stop that raid. By the way, that raid, illegal by warrant, and the same day you've got up in San Francisco, agitators confronting ICE outside of immigration.
Yo, some of these things, feel like you're stat padding, big dog. I'm sorry. On the one hand, you're like, we're shooting at ICE agents, and on the other hand, you're like, a bunch of gay San Francisco people were yelling in the vicinity of ICE agents. Okay. Like, some of these things are just, like, legally protected speech, okay? Excuse me, what are we doing here? Like, that's crazy. Also, it is funny where they keep saying this is a legal raid with a warrant, okay? It's like, as opposed to what, dude? Are we supposed to have illegal raids now? Like, is that what you're saying? Would you have an issue with it if it was an illegal raid? No, you wouldn't. It's just all the same. Also, was it a judicial warrant or was it just one of those like fake, the fake warrants that they just like issue out? Was it like an actual warrant for arrest issued by a judge, or was it one of those like immigration court warrants? They're admitting to other raids being illegal, or I guess.
Court, we have seen that in sanctuary
administrative warrant. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
San Francisco, where the authorities will not turn over criminal, illegal aliens that have deportation orders. They just turn them loose on the streets. ICE trying to pick them up, but they're getting resistance and being assaulted there. And then finally, as we've been talking out in Camarillo, California, the unbelievable, there's a $50,000 reward. The U.S. attorney out there, Bill Isale, saying that they want to capture that individual that appeared to fire a weapon, fire a pistol at ICE agents who were carrying out a lawful warrant. This is the first 10 days of July. If we stay on this trajectory, Lisa, that's why Tom Homan is saying that he is, and we're going to talk to him in just a little bit. You know, yesterday on this couch, we asked Secretary Kristi Noem, DHS Secretary, I said, are you worried?
Was that a gun, by the way? Not the finger gun? Like, so what is that? What happened there? Was it like an actual gun that they were shooting at the ICE agents? Like, do we know more details on that? Anyway, let's see.
That you're going to attend the funeral of one
It's
of your
AI. Bro, calm down. I'm trying to arrive at the truth, please. Like, we need to, oh, God. Chat, I'm not the judge, okay? And neither are you. Like, I just want to know what happened. I've only seen that still. Everyone's like, Dad, it's real. Calm down, okay? I don't know. I don't know what took place. What's shocking about it is if it was like actually a gun and someone shot at, you know, law enforcement and they didn't just like slaughter every single person there. That's like the maximalist amount of restraint that I've never actually seen. I've never seen that kind of restraint from any law enforcement. So that's what's like shocking about it.
And she said she thinks about it every day.
I mean, it's just disgusting. And again, you're going to want to tune in for Tom Homan at 6:30 a.m. here.
A Fox News alert. Chaos in California. Federal agents deploying tear gas while protesters hurl rocks during an ICE raid at a marijuana farm allegedly staffed by illegal immigrants. The scene escalating when a protester seen here appears to fire a gun at
See, that's what I mean. Like, they have this shit. This is the only thing I've seen.
feds. The FBI now offering...
But, like, I don't really understand. Like, this actually pulled out. He busted the gat.
Allegedly staffed by illegal immigrants.
Like, what is that?
The scene escalating.
Also, why isn't there audio? I don't understand.
It's just disgusting. And again, you're going to want to tune in for Tom Homan at 6:30 a.m. here.
A Fox News alert. Chaos in California. Federal agents deploying tear gas while protesters hurl rocks during an ICE raid at a marijuana farm allegedly staffed by illegal immigrants. The scene escalating when a protester seen here appears to fire a gun at the Fed.
Other angles on Twitter. They also keep saying seen here with what appears to be firing a gun. Like, why aren't you just saying this protest is firing the gun at agents? I don't know. I don't know.
The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward for info on the suspect. All of this comes as we await.
I think it jammed. Oh, there's another angle. It might be a real gun. Oh, that's what they're saying. It appears that he fired. I don't think he actually fired. I think he tried to fire, but he just couldn't. Look.
Take a look at this video right here. It appears a protester fired some kind of gun at federal agents.
Some kind of gun.
Afternoon, it was a really chaotic scene at the time.
Yeah, look. He runs back and he tries to fix it.
Protester fired back with that.
Airsoft? That's crazy, bro. Airsoft at the armed Gestapo, you're just demanding that you get executed. You know, that's like...
By a Biden-appointed federal judge who's expected to curb all federal immigration operations in Southern California. Borders are Tom Homan joining us now. Tom, I watched that video out of Camarillo, California yesterday and was just mortified. What happened there and what is your reaction?
My reaction is the same as been from day one. People are welcome to protest. They have their First Amendment rights, but they can't cross that line. They can't impede us from doing our job. That's a felony. They certainly can't put hands on an agent. That's a felony. So what happened in California is just another example of protesters becoming criminals. And they've been emboldened by even members of Congress who compare ICE to Nazis and racists and terrorists. I mean, the rhetoric is so high, and I said 2 months ago, it's going to end up with a loss of life. And we had one the other day in Texas, and it's not over. I mean, the rhetoric has to end. ICE agents are simply enforcing the law that members of Congress enacted, that they wrote, they created, and was signed by the president. If people want to complain about the job ICE is doing, go complain to Congress, because we're enforcing the laws they enacted. We're doing our job.
Hey, Tom, can I just take you back? You just said you had a loss of life in Texas?
Yeah, you had a person attack a Border Patrol facility, firing at the facility, and BORTAC agents.
Right. The individual that assaulted him lost life. Okay, I was just clarifying, making sure you weren't making news there that an agent had lost his life, and that is, of course, the fear. But you talk about those politicians.
Bro, no, you got to get a new guy. I mean, not to give any tips to the Department of Homeland Security, but like, Tom Homan is so bad at communicating, man. Like, even the host is like, what did you just say? He's just like, Tom Homan sounds like what I imagine a bag of deli meat, if it gained some kind of sentience, would sound like. Just gums flapping in the wind, man. He's like the human basset hound, dude. He's like a, no, not a basset hound. What's the ones with the gums? Like a mastiff. It's crazy. It's like watching a mastiff try to drink water, bro. The jowls flapping around. God damn, dude. It's craziness.
And rhetoric that clearly seems to be fueling much of this, but you've also got some distortion of the facts. This was a post that California Governor Gavin Newsom put up yesterday. Kids running from tear gas, crying on the phone because their mother was just taken from the fields. Trump calls me Newsom.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to do this, but Big Gav is right. This is literally what's going on every day. And we all see it. It's like, dude, you know what this is? Not to bring everything back to Israel, but like this is very Israel shit. But basically what's going on here is that initially maybe some people didn't care, right? Plenty of people didn't. They were like, oh, whatever. What am I going to do? It's like maybe they're criminals. Probably good that they're getting taken out of the country. But every single day, you see another family being separated from their provider, from their dads. You know, kids like crying in immigration court. Like every day, you see these horrible images. Eventually, people start noticing that these aren't criminals. You know, these are just like regular ass people working every day, trying to make ends meet. And they're just being shipped out of this fucking country for no reason. And if after the 700th child that you see in a fucking bag that their parents are carrying in Gaza, you start developing some opinions about Israel. And just like that, every day after the 700th time you see like a child crying as his dad is like physically ripped away from them, you know, you're going to start developing opinions about ICE, even if you previously thought it was appropriate.
But he's the real scum. We later find out there were 10 juveniles in that operation that were 8 of which were unaccompanied minors. What do you say?
I see this every day, and I said from day one, when President Trump became president, that they're going to vilify the men and women of ICE. They'll vilify the men and women of Border Patrol. They did it during the last administration, except this time, the rhetoric's at an all-time high. Every day I get up and I read the media posts at the White House, and 90% of the stories are just fake.
What's the fucking argument? Is the argument like, oh, it's in camera only, sorry? What's the argument? What's the argument? What's the argument? I'm sorry that you saw me get up instead of Tom Homan's ugly ass face. I will never let chat live this down. Chat, remember this moment. 7/11/2025, 4:42 p.m. Pacific time. Chat demanded that they see ugly ass Tom Homan's face. Okay? Chat demanded that they see ugly ass Tom Homan's fucking face. It was like, dude, the camera's off. Yep, 7-Eleven, baby. Remember 7-Eleven. No, you got it. You got it. The Tom Homan heads are like, dude, I'm horny. Come on. Just his gums flapping. Don't do it for me. Just his jowls. Don't do it for me. I need to see the sex appeal. Okay? I need to see it with my own dang eyes, dude. Full screen for Tom, please. Just zoom in on his face.
They're lies. So, and people say, well, the polls are kind of turning against Donald Trump a little bit on immigration. First of all, I don't believe it. And if the polls turn it off, because all the fake news out there, they're lying about what the President Trump is doing. They're lying about what the men and women of ICE.
Anyway, the argument I was going to make is like, okay, are you the advocate for child welfare in this scenario? Like, what's the argument? Oh, well, we're going to violently deport them to the slave labor colony in El Salvador so they can be free of doing what? Labor on the fucking weed farm? If they are to be, if I am to believe that there are, 16, 17-year-old, like, unaccompanied minors working on the fucking field, okay, which is a likelihood, for the record. There are a fuck ton of undocumented child laborers in, like, poultry facilities, at a Hyundai facility in Alabama. Like, this is a real thing that happens. So what's better for them now? To be shipped off? To be shipped off permanently to CCOT? Like, if you got an issue, arrest the farm owner, bitch. Not the kids. Like, what do you mean? Like, it's so strange for them to just, like, sit here on Fox News, advocate for mass deportation of these, like, children's parents, and maybe even the children themselves, while simultaneously arguing as though, like, somehow deporting their family members or the kids is going to improve their welfare. Like, this is, well, we're the child welfare party.
And that's kind of tried against us a little bit, but that's why, members of the administration are out there every day setting the facts straight. The fact is, I read in the paper the other day, the majority of people who arrest are not criminals. Wrong. Look at the data. Go to ICE.gov and look at the data. But we got...
That's literally just the truth. That's crazy. I like that he's stupid enough that I assume his argument is, they're all undocumented immigrants, so they're all breaking a crime. Yeah. Crimes are not meant to be broken. They're breaking it. I'm here to fix it. The crime that was broken. Dildo.
Well, it's just a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. Not really criminal. Oh, they're not convicted. They're just charged. Oh, they're not criminals. No, we're prioritizing public safety threats and national security threats, and that's a fact.
But Tom, it strikes me unbelievable that the Democrats are not on board. When you look at this raid, there were 10 juveniles that were illegally brought across the border. You and I covered this under the Biden administration. I was down in Texas. We encountered 8, 10-year-old, 12-year-olds coming across with just a name and an address and a phone number on their necks, the cartel ruthlessly sending them across. And yet now we know that 10 of them, 8 of which were unaccompanied minors working illegally in a marijuana farm, and your agents go in and rescue them essentially, and yet there is violent resistance to that. Does that upset you?
It certainly upsets me. And like I said, you know, the work men and women of ICE are doing is incredible. Look, we're looking for over 300,000 missing children.
I'm losing my mind. Do journalism. Find the person who owns the facility and arrest them. Why is this? Dude, being an immigrant is so crazy in this country. I swear to God. They will physically, violently apprehend you, possibly your child, and then get mad at the child and the person who brought the child to the field, and not the person who may or may not have actually hired the child. Like, what are we talking about? How is this Governor Gavin Newsom's fault? I can't believe I'm saying this. Do your due diligence. Find who was the actual criminal in this situation, the person who hired, if you think these were 10-year-olds that were working on the farm. Which sounds insane to say, but like they behave as though the kids are the criminals here. Why are you arresting the children? Oh, they said 16. I misunderstood. I thought he kept saying juvenile. Like I just assumed that they were like, my father grew up in Sanger, California, and picked fruit in a field with 9 siblings for 10 cents an hour from age 4 to 14. Wait, what? I don't know if that's real. What the? From age 4 to 14. I'm a 3rd-generation immigrant. North Koreans in chat. You never know. They're young. They could be forced into labor. Bro, then arrest the person who hired the child, okay? The child, under no circumstance, should be the one that is getting arrested. Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind here? Like, I feel like this is an insane circle. They're like, yeah, and the violent criminal babies, we have to get them out of here. Like, they're talking about they liberated these kids from the camp, from the work camp. By what? Putting them in a work camp? Yeah, we're arresting the illegal babies. We liberated the illegal babies by arresting them and physically apprehending them violently, okay, handcuffing them, and then putting these illegal babies in the back of a car so we can ship them to a facility far, far away. Okay? We are here to arrest these illegal babies and put them into a legal work camp, a legal concentration camp where they are concentrated, where they are, they can concentrate on important tasks like building, making license plates. Okay, putting together desks that will be sold to the state. Thank God.
10,000. Have you heard that anywhere? No, the media is simply not covering it. And look, this should be a nonpartisan issue. Arresting public safety threats and national security threats, everybody be all the same page on that. Rescuing children, I mean, it should be a nonpartisan issue. Everybody.
Look, they're rescuing the kids by tear gassing them. My mistake. When I see your Gestapo force tear gassing the kids, the illegal babies, okay? I didn't realize it was liberation gas, dude. I didn't realize you were liberating them. Yeah, bitch, you feel pretty stupid. Yep, my mistake. I feel pretty stupid now. Yeah, everything I've seen from television telling me this is exactly how they liberated Iraq, for example, or like how Trump liberated Iran just the other week, or how Israel is liberating Gaza. This is how liberation is done. Thank God for Tom Homan, the great baby liberator, okay?
In lockstep on that, but they're not. The media's lying. The Democrats they don't want President Trump to be successful. I got news for them. We are being successful. Every illegal alien public safety
Yeah,
threat
they killed someone in this raid, by the way. One of the farm workers died in the chaotic raids in Ventura County, California. And from what I understand, as of 5 hours ago, there were other workers, including U.S. citizens, that were unaccounted for. Bro, this is like the Epstein stuff, you know? They geared up, they tuned up the entire public to 11 on the Epstein shit for years and years and years and years, right? And then they were like, oops, no Epstein leaks. Just kidding. Shut up. Look in the other direction. And kind of a similar thing took place with the Second Amendment. Every day they're like, oh, I need my second to protect the first. I need my Second Amendment against a tyrannical state. And then the state starts doing tyrannical shit and they're like, nope, not like that. I meant like you can use it on black people. What do you mean? What is the most tyrannical state? A black person in your vicinity where you can do castle doctrine to, which basically is a on the spot, like you turn into a cop almost in that very moment when you're fearful of your life. What happened? We're like, oh, you need the Second Amendment to go up against a tyrannical state. State starts behaving in a tyrannical fashion. Everyone's like, whoa, 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 dude. Just like the First Amendment is like free speech free speech still means free speech, even speech you disagree with. Okay, not against Israel. I didn't mean that. I meant like saying slurs. Okay? I didn't mean against Israel. I simply meant to be able to say slurs without other people yelling back at you and arrest the people yelling at me for saying the slurs, please. That's not more speech, and it certainly should not be free. Yeah, Jamie Alanis, an immigrant farm worker who picked tomatoes for 10 years, fell from a building during an ICE raid in Camarillo yesterday. He reportedly suffered a broken neck and skull and was placed on life support. Emerging reports state he has died. They did that.
The arrest makes this country safer. Every national security threat we take off the street.
This particular farm already has a class action lawsuit from 2023 ongoing for labor law violations. Raided cannabis farm facing federal probe for child exploitation is a subject of past labor law complaints. I'm losing my mind. Brother, are you serious? Are you serious? Glass House Brands, whose farm was raided by immigration authorities on Thursday, is the subject of several labor law complaints, according to Washington Examiner review of the Los Angeles County Superior Court records. Following the raid, Customs Border Patrol Commissioner Rodney Scott said 10 juveniles, all illegal immigrants, and 8 of whom are unaccompanied minors, were rescued at the marijuana facility in Camarillo. In response, Glass House disputed ever employing children or knowingly violating labor laws. Glass House has never knowingly violated labor laws, so the youngest was 14 years old. These are the juveniles found in the marijuana facility, almost all unaccompanied, one as young as 14. California, are you ready to partner up with us to stop child exploitation? Bro, this is arrest the guy who owns the facility. What are we doing? What are we doing? Brother, it's the kids that are in detention. Do you understand? Illegal kids. Like, how are you not going to arrest the employer, man? How? Like, what are we doing here? How does no one look at the situation and go, yeah, that's pretty up. They should probably arrest the guy who was hiring children. Okay? Like, what kind of abolition of slavery required the execution of the slaves? Okay? This is crazy. This is why I say, for the record, that, oh, here it is. Ex-cop turned legal pot farmer claims he's a bigger dealer than anyone sitting in prison. Glass House Brand CEO Kyle Kazan says his booming business produces 6,000 pounds of pot a year, and the number is growing. Former LAPD officer who once had to arrest a man he pulled up next to at a red light who had a marijuana plant sticking out of his car. What a wonderful story, man. I love this story. Thank you. Yeah, we got to protect this brave patriot business owner who was harmed by these illegal children. That he unknowingly hired to do child labor exploitation. We should actually punish the children extra hard. We should punish the children even harder, okay? They went up to him and they're Latino. They went up to him. They were sneaky and did Latino style mind control. He's the real victim here. In May 2023, 2 former glasshouse harvesters, Ana Maria Pedreira and Lourdes Patricia Avalos, filed a class action lawsuit against Glasshouse Brands and its subsidiaries, including Camarillo Cultivation Center, for allegedly refusing to pay regular and overtime wages. Dude, oh my God, I'm so mad. This is everything I find out about the story pisses me off further. Look, you have this white man using these children on his plantation farm. Yeah, think of the small business owner. The case is still pending and a status conference is scheduled in October. Among a slew of allegations, Melendez claimed the glasshouse failed to pay workers all wages earned, including sick pay, minimum, regular, overtime, imposed unlawful quotas. Wow. Yeah, how could this have happened? Yeah, we should punish the day laborers even more, actually.
It makes us safer. And we're rescuing thousands of children. The lives saved every day by ICE, the lives saved, are in the hundreds. So it's the only thing I can think of, Griff, if they hate President Trump more than they love their community. They hate President Trump more than they want, safe communities. And there's just no other excuse why this is not, why this has become a partisan issue to take public safety threats off the street.
And before I run out of time, Tom, I've got to get you.
I'm on my way back from Texas and watching disbelief as thugs were violently throwing rocks and bricks at ICE officers. They were moving down a roadway in their car and/or official vehicle. Tremendous damage was done to these brand new vehicles. I know for a fact that these officers are having a hard time with allowing this to happen, in that it shows such total disrespect for law and order. Therefore, I am directing Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem and Border Czar Tom Homan to instruct all ICE, Homeland Security, or any other law enforcement officer who is on the receiving end of thrown rocks, bricks, or any form of assault to stop their car, arrest these slime balls using whatever means is necessary to do so. I'm giving total authorization for ICE to protect itself, just like they protect the public. Oh my God. I never want to see a car carrying a law enforcement officer attacked again. Authorization immediately granted for arrest and incarceration. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He's like, yeah, come outside, shoot him.
Reaction to this Biden-appointed federal judge out in Los Angeles, apparently expected today to issue a temporary restraining order halting your lawful operations. She says, I think it's important for the court not to burden otherwise lawful law enforcement activities. Your reaction there?
Look, people need to understand, ICE officers and Border Patrol, they don't need probable cause to walk up to somebody, briefly detain them, and question them. They just need the totality of the circumstances, right? They just got through the observation, get articulable facts based on their location, their occupation, their physical appearance, their actions. Like a uniformed Border Patrol agent walks up to them at, for instance, a Home Depot. And they got all these articulable facts, plus the person walks away or runs away. Agents are trained. What they need to detain somebody temporarily and question them. It's not probable cause, it's reasonable suspicion. We're trained on that. Every agent, every 6 months, get Fourth Amendment training over and over again. These officers are really good at what they do. And if this judge can make a decision that's against what these officers are trained, what the law is based upon, then they're going to shut down operation. I think that's your end game. They want ICE to stop doing this. But if they base it on the rule of law, they're going to find out Border Patrol and ICE is doing exactly what they're going to do in accordance with law.
And you're not going to stop coming. Tom Homan, thank you for getting up with us this morning.
You got it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.